Today on the table I have the SIG P320 and the SIG 2022. You will see a price split of about $81, the 2022 being about $81 cheaper than the SIG P320. Now both these pistols have pros and cons. And if you're gonna think that I'm gonna say the modularity of this is a pro, you're wrong. I think the Army needs to fire whatever special snowflake they had in there that said everybody's an individual and they need their own setup. You're better off training everybody on one standardized setup so they can use any firearm. If you want to test this for yourself, hop in someone's car, just change little things like their mirrors, turn their radio up, screw their heater, readjust their seat, and watch them completely fail at driving. It will look like they just got their driver's license. You're way better off learning how to drive their car, how it's configured, and then you both can use the same car. You might not be quite as good at it, but you both will be able to do it efficiently.
The bottom line is that not only the main components are interchangeable, but some other calibers, such as 9mm, 40 Smith & Wesson, and 357 SIG, which makes this platform very, very good. And at the end of the day, they're looking for a firearm that is completely modular.
Randy, need a pistol mag!
No can do, buddy. I don't have any 9mm. I chambered my 320 and 40 cal because I think it's just an all-around a better cartridge. Or what if they go somewhere and they have to grab some random P320 because, I don't know, China's invaded, so there's just literally a crate of P320s. Now they're going from one they had specifically configured just to them to something they're completely unfamiliar with. Dumbest thing ever. Standardization. That is the key. Standardize, standardize, standardize. Make everything the same. That's how you win. Make it so it can be mass-produced on a large scale. Again, sorry about the rant, but back to this comparison. This 2022 is lighter than this P320. Now, you can get this configured differently. Different barrel lengths, stuff like that. It will change it. Up to, I think the smallest one I've seen was a 3-ounce difference, which would make it lighter than this, the 2022. When you purchase the two firearms, with the 2022, you're going to get two 15-round magazines. You're going to get a very nice case. SIG does a pretty good job on their case. The only place where they seem to have failures is the latching system. This is really thin plastic, kind of brittle. But I'm sure if you were to have one break, you can just call SIG and they'll send you a brand new one. Firearm lock, owner's manual, and your super awesome SIG sticker. With the P320, you get two 17-round magazines. It does have a capacity advantage over the 2022. You're also going to get the very nice SIG case, which is cut out for the firearm, extra magazine, and it looks like a Streamlight flashlight would fit right there, which is pretty cool. And you also do get a holster. Pretty bomb. I don't know if all the SIGs came with it, or if this is just a package. You do also get your owner's manuals and your SIG sticker. Now this particular 320 comes with night sights. You can order them with night sights, without night sights. This 2022 was supposed to come with night sights, but they didn't. Some sort of communication error because it's still listed that it has night sights, but it just came with standard 3-dot sights. Now your 320 sights, all the dots are the same color. Not cool, especially with this long of a sight radius, because it is possible to go like backside, front sight in the dark. And you might not know the difference in panic. Both have accessory rails, which is awesome. The 320 breaks down awesome. Flip of the lever. The 2022, this breaks down slightly easier than a 1911. You have to move the slide in this magical position and then push this through, probably with some sort of tool, then pull this out. Now you have an extra part laying there, and then it strips apart. The slide release on the 320 sucks. It's about the same as a Glock. Most people probably wouldn't even consider this a slide release, they'd just consider it a slide stop. 2022, amazing. Every firearm ever made in the modern age should have a slide release like this. It just works perfect. Quick change of the magazine. Awesome. Now, because this is a double single, this is your decocker, it's a little bit far forward for me. May not be for most people, but I can still use it. Now, this doesn't have an external safety. Basically, you got a double single, so your first trigger pull, which is very heavy, very long. And then the slide would cycle, and then you'd have a second trigger pull, nice and light. So your follow-up shots would be very, very fast. Now, you could cock the hammer ahead of time, make all your shots very fast and very accurate, but the idea here is that you'd be carrying this, which is, I couldn't carry this. This is just way too big, unless it's like on a tack vest or, you know, an external holster. This would be more like a nightstand gun, you know, like I just said, tack vest gun, something like that. But anyway, the idea is you're carrying it, so then you don't have a safety to worry about. As soon as you pull it, you can just start pulling the trigger. Pretty cool. That's my preferred setup. Trigger brake. 320. Doesn't break too bad. Now, this one hasn't been retrofitted to be drop safe. I'm told once you retrofit it, the trigger brake changes drastically. I don't know. I don't have first-hand experience in it. Here's your reset. Kind of long. And then your brake again. The 2022, this is a double single, so it can shoot with the hammer back, or you can shoot it from the hammer down. With the hammer back, brake's alright. I do kind of feel like it's got an edge over the 320. Double action mode. Doesn't break too bad. The trigger isn't that predictable in double action mode, but it's double action mode, so, I mean, honestly, who really cares? Here's your reset. Also kind of long, very audible though. And a decent break afterwards. I do actually expect more out of a double single firearm. I kind of feel like they fell a little bit short on the trigger brake and single action mode. The triggers, the actual construction of them is the same, metal. Same shape. I do like the SIG triggers a lot. It just feels good. It just feels awesome. Texturing, exactly the same. Like I said, the capacity is higher on the 320. Now, what would I pick? The P320 or the 2022? As I was saying earlier, neither of these guns for me I could carry. Not even the smaller 320s, they're just still too big. I struggle carrying my cell phone. I mean, that just annoys the crap out of me. But, you know, it has purposes, so I carry it. Handgun, same thing, but I want my handgun as small as possible, so therefore, these are completely eliminated. So I'd be looking for, like, tack vest, nightstand, something to that effect, range toy. With those rules being set down, the modularity of this is stupid. I mean, just buy another handgun. The fact that you can take the serial number out of this and drop it in another frame, who cares? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Just my opinion. So the whole modularity argument with this isn't an argument for me. That's actually a downside. Now, the 2022, you do have less of a capacity. That's kind of a big deal. I mean, especially for a combat handgun, I want the biggest capacity possible because I'm not trying to conceal this. I just want big capacity. I want it super easy to shoot. Now, if this was a smaller 320, I would say, you know, if you're new at firearms, you should probably go with this one because there's less controls. It's easier to take apart, simpler to use. Just don't screw with the modularity. It's already got night sights on it. This will work out well for you. If you're not new at firearms or you want something you can get better on, a double single is the way to go. There's a learning curve. There really is. But once you master the controls on this, in the end, you will be better with this firearm over this firearm. There's a couple of things I would like to see different. I would like to see the P320's takedown system on this. If that was there, And it had the front serrations, which I would never use because they're just stupid. Again, my opinion. I would just look at my magazine and be like, yep, a round's missing. Obviously, one's in the chamber. But anyway, I kind of like the styling just a little bit better on the 320 just because of these serrations. I think it makes the slide look better. But other than that, I really don't like the 320 at all. Now this one's even milled slimmer in the front, so it gives the firearm an appearance of being slimmer, when it's not. They're virtually the same in thickness. The 2022 does have a loaded flag, which, whatever, who really cares about that, but it does make it so you can feel if for whatever reason you can't see and know that it's loaded. You don't get the holster with the 2022, but you still do get 2 mags. I mean, really, if this is going to be a nightstand gun or a tac vest gun anyway, the holster doesn't really matter, but it would be nice to have. Just gives you more options. But anyways, that's what I would pick, is a 2022. I do think both would be fine choices, regardless what you go with. This is just my personal preference, and that's the reasons why. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave in the comments below which one you would pick and why.